Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star 2, Land of Origin based on novel. So let's start. This cave mansion, as a division of the Life Mother River, and about to recruit new members, now has a primal chaos realm entity temporarily presiding over it. The entity from the primal chaos realm, perched there with a 9-segmented tail slowly swaying, had emerald green eyes filled with unease. Did Luo he himself order this? He didn't take Yuan seriously. After all, Yuan was just a newly promoted entity from the primal chaos realm, who became a guest elder of the Flame Wind ancient country through connections with Luo he. But Luo he, the godly king, was an overlord who could directly contend with the emperor of Tien Kuan. God King Bei Feng. The entity from the primal chaos realm immediately sent a message upward. This former guest elder, by the command of Luo he, ordered us to retreat from the surrounding 20 primal chaos prefectures. Luo he. Neither the Sha kingdom nor the Yu kingdom dare to be our enemies, and he dares. I'll handle this. Yes. The entity from the primal chaos realm breathed a sigh of relief. Luo he could extinguish him with just a breath, and the pressure was indeed great. Best to leave such matters to higher-ups. Yuan stood in the plaza, after proclaiming the command of the city lord, and the whole cave mansion fell silent, not responding with a single word. A minor division should not have the authority to decide whether to retreat, probably reporting upward. Yuan patiently waited. Buzz. Suddenly, a terrifying energy descended from the void, transforming into a figure with emerald hair and a robust build. His presence alone seemed to alter the rules of the surrounding heavens and earth, with endless winds blowing in all directions. This figure with emerald hair, his beard lush and eye-piercing, looked at Yuan, the former guest elder. I've heard about you. Luo he values you highly, and helped you secure the position of guest elder in the Flame Wind ancient country. It's the God King Bei Feng. Yuan recognized him right away, as the other did not conceal his identity, and immediately smiled. As a newly promoted primal chaos realm entity, it is indeed quite fortunate to have become a guest elder in the Flame Wind ancient country. Let's get straight to the point, the God King Bei Feng said. Luo he wants us to completely withdraw the Life Mother River from these 20 primal chaos prefectures. That's impossible. The Life Mother River has spread across many territories, and it was here before the Sha kingdom and the Yu kingdom were even established. No matter who founded the kingdom, the God King Bei Feng looked at Yuan, they have no right to prohibit our recruitment of members. If it's a small recruitment, we wouldn't mind, Yuan said. But you are recruiting all over each of the 20 locations and even filtering out the most elite, taking them all away without even notifying my lord the city lord. Isn't that excessive? One recruitment per city every 1,000 years. Is that too much? The emerald-haired figure said, not really. As for notifying, your city lord should inquire a little, and he should know who we are. He should know, he cannot provoke our Life Mother River. All right, hurry up and scram. The emerald-haired figure sneered at Yuan. Don't think that by being evenly matched with the emperor of Tien Kuan, you can provoke our Life Mother River. Yuan sighed softly. Suddenly, in the plaza of this cave mansion, an immense and invisible force descended, a tremendous power of the world, completely suppressing the aura fluctuations of the emerald-haired figure. The expression of the God King Bei Feng changed slightly. A figure clad in silver appeared next to Yuan. He, dressed in silver, with a sharp horn on his forehead and a cool gaze, was none other than Luo he, the godly king of towering fame in the land of origin. Luo he himself came. God King Bei Feng stared at Luo Feng. Silver-clad Luo Feng, seemingly ordinary in aura, but the endless world around him was filled with his power of the world. He looked at the God King Bei Feng, his voice very calm. God King Bei Feng, are you so arrogant in my territory? The God King Bei Feng's aura subsided, much more solemn. as the spreading power of the world oppressed him too strongly. Greetings to City Lord Luo. The God King Bei Feng said politely. You should know my intent, Luo Feng said. Give me an answer from your life Mother River. Withdraw, or not? Without hesitation, the God King Bei Feng shook his head. Our life Mother River has rooted here for eons, it's impossible to withdraw. City Lord Luo, although you are exceptionally talented, you should know which existences in the land of origin you cannot provoke. I am well aware of the reputation of the Mother River, Luo Feng said with a smile. Knowing that, you still dare to drive our life Mother River away, the God King Bei Feng said angrily. Asking one last time, Luo Feng looked at him calmly, do you withdraw, or not? God King Bei Feng angrily said, Luo He, don't invite disaster upon yourself. Luo Feng gently shook his head. Boom. Endless power of the world converged, enveloping the body of the God King Bei Feng. The true body of Luo Feng's world power was sufficient to cover the range of 18 primal chaos prefectures, and when most of that power converged in one place, the level of oppression was imaginable. The God King Bei Feng felt oppressed and bounded everywhere he turned. How dare you? The God King Bei Feng cried out in shock and rage, yet found that even with his strong power at the first realm of the godly king, he couldn't struggle at all. I gave you face, allowing you to withdraw, and you didn't. So now I'll just drive you away. Luo Feng's eyes turned cold. Boom. The might of the world power swiftly surged, terrifying the God King Bei Feng. You'll regret this. The God King Bei Feng stared at Luo Feng, as his body under terrifying might was compressed and shattered, turning to dust. Just a small lesson, Luo Feng said calmly. Mere destruction of a true body was indeed just a lesson. The God King Bei Feng had come prepared for the talks to break down, and had not brought any treasures. Yuan watched the entire process, and only after the true body of the God King Bei Feng was annihilated did Yuan speak. Luo He, the life Mother River is not easy to provoke, right? Rest assured, Luo Feng said with a smile. He was well aware of the depths of the life Mother River. What do we do now? Yuan looked around, sensing some internal members of the life Mother River still present in the cave mansion, but they were all eternal true gods. Wait, Luo Feng said. In the land of origin, a hidden world opened up, also known as the Mother River world. Here, creatures thrived and reproduced, eternal true gods, primal chaos realm dwellers, and godly kings cultivated here, making it the true core of the Mother River's power. This Luo He is too arrogant. He completely disregards our life Mother River. The divine power incarnation of God King Bei Feng roared furiously in indignation. In the land of origin, what is a Luo He worth? I heard he can rival Tian Kuan with his strong life force. Distant figures relaxed nearby, among them, a towering figure suddenly stood up, revealing a smile. Let me test him to see how many moves his body can withstand from me. Zhongfu, there is no need for you to make a move for such a trifle, said others. Zhongfu, leave this matter to me, another offered. The surrounding godly kings all prevented him. God King Zhongfu, next only to the master of the Mother River in the life Mother River's forces, and even in terms of frontal combat prowess, was on par with the master of the Mother River, whose methods were even more profound and inscrutable. I will handle this matter myself, a voice said. The multitude of godly kings turned to look, seeing a figure in a black robe that seemed to merge with the world around him. All the gathered godly kings stood up and paid their respects. Master of the Mother River. Zhongfu. Big Brother Zhongfu. The godly kings called him by different names, but all very respectfully. Zhongfu, are you going to meet him yourself? The towering God King Zhongfu asked. This Luo He is currently of average strength, the man in the black robe said with a smile. But in the future, he might influence the order of the land of origin. It is time to meet him. God King Zhongfu nodded slightly. The two of them were friends who had reached this pinnacle together. The core of the entire Life Mother River's power was these two. In the square inside the cave mansion, the silver-clad Luo Feng stood waiting, Yuan beside him. Here, Luo Feng sensed, within the range covered by the power of the world, a force that followed causality and appeared instantaneously on the square, teleporting from a distant place directly in front of Luo Feng. This was a man in a black robe, his smile carrying endless charm, imbued with boundless life force, and also shrouded in mystery. Master of the Mother River God King Zhongfu. Luo Feng looked at him. It seems your mentor has told you all about me, the man in the black robe said with a smile. The most powerful servant of the flame-wind ancient country, Luo Feng said. How could I not know? In the early days of the flame-wind ancient country, Emperor Yang was the first emperor of the flame-wind ancient country. At that time, the imperial clan had only 3 members in the second realm of Godly King and 5 guest elders in the second realm of Godly King. The most powerful among them was none other than God King Zhongfu, who fought battles far and wide for the ancient country. In that era, the prowess of God King Zhongfu was almost unrivaled. Indeed. The man in the black robe said wistfully, back then Emperor Yang relied heavily on me. As a guest elder God King, I chose to fully join the flame-wind ancient country and devoted myself to serving it. But, you see the result. Because my weapon was too powerful, Emperor Yang mobilized the entire force of the flame-wind ancient country to eliminate me, the man in the black robe scoffed. He truly couldn't stand having a servant stronger than himself. I didn't have as many resources. I'm not an ultimate realm life form. It was simply that my own realm was high enough that just possessing a formidable weapon allowed me to rival him. He couldn't tolerate me any longer. The man in the black robe looked at Luo Feng. Luo He, your potential is maybe even greater than mine. Do you think, in the future, they will tolerate you? At least for now, my mentors are gracious to me, Luo Feng said. Luo Feng was well aware of the power of the person before him. In the whole land of origin, according to his mentor's intelligence, there were only 5 individuals who could challenge emperors and monarchs from the second realm of Godly King. They were the Wind Capital Empress, the Earth God King, a mysterious powerhouse from the Shadow Sky realm, Fire Ancestor, and the Master of the Mother River before him. The Wind Capital Empress and Fire Ancestor were relatively detached. The Earth God King, having a great enmity with the Thunder Ancient Country, usually acted alone, only joining the Reincarnation Tower, because of a close relationship with the Wind Capital Empress. The figure from the Shadow Sky realm was very mysterious. Even the 2 ancient countries were unclear about his real identity. The Master of the Mother River, whose true identity was God King Zhongfu, had fought against the flame-wind ancient country countless times. Many godly kings with grudges against the flame-wind ancient country joined the Life Mother River, gradually strengthening it. The 2 ancient countries, 3 top-tier forces, and 5 supreme powerhouses, these were the entities that decided the order of the land of origin. Forces like the 2 Realms Palace, Wanfa Tower, and Time-Space Lonely Boat, because they were led by alien race powerhouses comparable to the 2 ancestors, were very tricky. They didn't seek to change the order of the land of origin, only aiming for some resources left by Yuan. None of the 5 supreme powerhouses had joined the 3 forces established by the alien race. You're right. They are currently gracious to you. The man in the black robe looked at Luo Feng and smiled. Let's consider today our first acquaintance. You asked me to leave your 20 primal chaos prefecture domains. I agree. I will have them leave immediately. I believe that in the future, we may have a day when we join forces, the man in the black robe said with a smile before disappearing into thin air. Luo Feng stood in the square, frowning slightly. In the future, will we join forces? The ruler of the Life Mother River doesn't seem to quite match the information my master gave me, Luo Feng thought. In the intelligence given by his master Emperor Chu, the ruler of the Life Mother River was described as brutal and arrogant, with a ruthless and merciless approach. He cultivated both the great Tao of life origin and the origin Tao of causality, and possessed a terrifying secret treasure, which, like a spike, was known to the outside world as causality wind. Countless godly kings from the imperial clan of Flame Wind ancient country fell at his hands, making him the #1 enemy of the Flame Wind ancient country. For one, the supreme rules of the land of origin limited the power of foreign creatures to the ceiling of the primal chaos realm, while the power of native creatures was limited to the ceiling of the ultimate realm of godly king. Even if the ancestors of the two countries returned, their destructive power would be limited in the land of origin. Secondly, the ruler of the Life Mother River specialized in the two paths of life and causality, which gave him a considerable advantage in preserving his own life. The primogenitor Yang Feng had once made a move against him. Despite being limited by the ultimate realm of God King in terms of power, by capitalizing on his high realm and terrifying treasures, he instantly eradicated all avatars and revival hosts of the ruler of the Life Mother River in the land of origin. Yet, after primogenitor Yang Feng left, the ruler of the Life Mother River somehow reappeared, clearly having a way to avoid being completely eradicated by primogenitor Yang Feng. Flame Wind ancient country, with deep-seated hatred for the ruler of the Life Mother River, still couldn't kill him, Luo Feng mused. And among the godly kings who held enmity with Flame Wind ancient country, quite a few have joined the Life Mother River. There are as many as 7 or 8 at the second realm of godly king, which has made the actions of the Life Mother River increasingly overbearing and powerful, Luo Feng had previously sensed. They boldly recruited followers in their own territory, too lazy to even notify him. Even a godly king Bei Feng dared to challenge him openly. And my master also has a grudge against him, Luo Feng knew this for a fact. The ruler of the Life Mother River, with enmity against all the royalty of the Flame Wind ancient country. One of Emperor Chu's close relatives died at the hands of the ruler of the Life Mother River, hence the intense hatred from the master, who had pursued him numerous times. In the face of Emperor Chu, an ultimate life form, who practiced the great Tao of destruction origin, even the ruler of the Life Mother River, with his primary avatar, carrying the secret treasure causality wind, couldn't fight back, and thus had always kept a distance. His subordinate, a godly king Bei Feng, is already so arrogant. And yet, the ruler of the Life Mother River is so friendly to me, convinced that I will join forces with him. Regardless, I owe a great debt to my master, to Emperor Ming, as well as to Emperor Chu Yu and Emperor Chu Ying. They have helped me quite enough. Luo Feng momentarily set these thoughts aside and turned to the primordial ancestor standing beside him. Primordial ancestor, let us go, said Luo Feng. The primordial ancestor nodded. The smooth resolution of matters was beyond his expectations. Whoosh! Luo Feng, taking the primordial ancestor with him, vanished in an instant. In the square, countless eternal true gods gathered, numbering in the hundreds, all somewhat perplexed. From now on, my fiery fire sect will completely withdraw from the 20 primal chaos prefectures, under the rule of City Lord Luo, and there will be no more recruitment and screenings. All of you may go back. A grand voice echoed across the square. We have already come all this way, please show mercy on us. We want to join the fiery fire sect. The eternal true gods grew anxious. However, this decision was made by the highest leader of the Life Mother River, the ground power behind the fiery fire sect. They will withdraw entirely from all 20 primal chaos prefectures within their charge, without dissent. We have received an invitation, and took great pains to travel here from the surrounding areas. Although the fiery fire sect selection is strict, 1 in 10 could make it, and now, there's no chance at all. The fiery fire sect may be mysterious and powerful, but clearly it cannot overpower City Lord Luo. City Lord Luo is formidable, and his battle with the master of the Sha kingdom shook heaven and earth, but he wouldn't care about us eternal true gods. This group of eternal true gods were considered elite, having been invited to come here. Of course, they still had to go through the selection process. Out of the hundreds of them, dozens would have been able to join the Fiery Fire sect. The Fiery Fire sect was one of the many forces under the Life Mother River. These eternal true gods would belong to many different forces, and there would be internal competition. Let's go, let's go. Alas, for us eternal true gods, seeking a legacy and an opportunity is so difficult. It's rare to find a sect like the Fiery Fire sect, and now we've been driven away by City Lord Luo. Hundreds of eternal true gods could only leave in disappointment. Original and Luo Feng returned to the Huyang City Lord's mansion together. Luo He, Original began, in my investigation of the Life Mother River's infiltration into our 20 primal chaos prefectures, I have come to understand the ordinary eternal true gods quite well. Seeking an opportunity, finding a suitable inheritance is extremely difficult for them. That's why they care so much about the recruitment by the Life Mother River. Luo Feng nodded. In the land of origin, the realms of primal chaos and various sects rely on inheritance and resources to push their eternal true gods to strive fiercely. In the past, he himself had spent a lot of effort just to earn some resources. Having driven away the Life Mother River, we have stripped the eternal true gods in our 20 primal chaos prefectures of a major opportunity, Original stated. What do you suggest? Luo Feng asked, looking at him. With the speed of your growth, Luo He, the territories you command in the future may well be much larger than they are now, Original said. I think we could start cultivating suitable cultivators in advance. Luo Feng smiled. I'm not concerned about the size of the territory I command. If you become powerful enough, even matching the level of an emperor, I'm afraid godly kings would lead their nations to you. The master of the Sha kingdom, Qian Kuan, would probably be anxious, and might even give you the entire Sha kingdom territory as compensation, Original remarked. Luo Feng's eyes narrowed. Compensate? Emperor of Qian Kuan, there's no chance for you to compensate. However, if Qian Kuan's emperor were to be dealt with, the territories of Sha kingdom would likely fall under his name. You may not care about the size of the territories, but those ordinary cultivators do, Yuan said. If the ruling master is too cruel and merciless, ordinary cultivators will naturally live in misery, just like the creatures in the Snow Realm territory under the ancestral god of the Snow Realm. Countless creatures live in utter despair. Under your rule, however, the lives of the ordinary cultivators would be vastly different, Yuan added. Shock flashed through Luo Feng's heart. It might be trivial for him, but the impact on countless cultivators was profound. You're right, Luo Feng looked at Yuan, who saw things more clearly than he did. My many illusionary avatars have integrated into all aspects of life in the land of origin, and some have even ventured to other territories, sighed the primordial ancestor. I am well aware of the lives ordinary cultivators lead. Luo Feng nodded. Then let's establish a sect and recruit disciples in the name of the sect. What's the name of the sect? The primordial ancestor asked. Blade River Sect, Luo Feng said with a smile. The primordial ancestor understood. Of course, he knew that Luo Feng was once known as King Dao He in the primordial cosmos. As for the rules of the sect, and the recruitment of disciples, I'll leave all these aspects to you, primordial ancestor, Luo Feng said. The primordial ancestor had long since created the virtual universe secret technique, and now he delved deeper into this path, with a profound understanding of the workings of the world and the desires and emotions of all beings. Luo Feng felt most at ease with the primordial ancestor handling this. All right, the primordial ancestor gladly accepted, as it was his own suggestion, and he also cared about the ordinary cultivators. Our Blade River sect has territory and resources, The only thing missing is a truly powerful inheritance, said the primordial ancestor. Although we can easily come up with many inheritances leading to the primal chaos realm, the primal chaos realm inheritances, created by beings of different levels, have different effects. One written by a being from the primal chaos realm. One written by a godly king. Even an inheritance written by a godly king at the ultimate realm, all aimed at reaching the primal chaos realm, the one from the ultimate realm of God King would be simpler and more straightforward, and would greatly increase the chances of becoming a being of the primal chaos realm. I'll do it myself. I will write a dozen or so godly king level inheritances recently, Luo Feng said. Good, the primordial ancestor's eyes lit up. With your accumulation and your talent, the inheritances you create will naturally be far superior to those commonly purchased outside. Writing godly king level inheritances was an easy task for Luo Feng. He, after all, deduced the mental state of the 10 directions, relying on the profound mysteries at the primal chaos realm level, and also the first strike of the dynamic 6 strikes. His deep understanding of the mysteries of the primal chaos realm needs no saying. And now, he had even deduced the 6 major branches of life, the 6 branches of destruction, and even fused some moves of the Great Tao of life and death from the 2 origin Great Taos. He had also understood 4 special grade inheritances, which greatly expanded Luo Feng's horizons. With such an accumulation, he began creating the most basic godly king level inheritances. Probably even more effective than those created by beings at the second realm of godly king. Writing inheritances was also a review and summary of one's own cultivation. The 15 godly king level inheritances are all here. In just over 100,000 days, Luo Feng had stored the 15 godly king level inheritances in the newly established headquarters of the Blade River sect. So fast. Yuan picked up a godly king level inheritance part 1 and began to read. Immersed in the text, he didn't look up until he finished. Then he looked at Luo Feng in amazement and said, "This part 1 leads to the primal chaos realm. It's simpler and more accessible than any inheritance I've ever seen, with a clearly higher ceiling." Luo Feng nodded with a smile. The part 1 and part 2 are a whole, with part 1 leading to the primal chaos realm, laying a solid foundation, and facilitating the cultivation of part 2, which hopefully will also increase the chances of reaching the godly king realm. Luo Feng adhered to his own cultivation attitude. He did not expect his sect disciples to comprehend high-level secret techniques from a low realm, but that they master enough techniques at the same level to have a solid foundation. Among the 15 inheritances, 6 are based on the Great Tao of life origin, and 6 are based on the Great Tao of destruction origin. The remaining 3 inheritances have no complete Tao references within the supreme rules. Those destined may comprehend them, Luo Feng said. In Luo Feng's view, these were all basic inheritances. The 6 life inheritances, each focusing on a single branch. The 6 destruction inheritances, each also focusing on a single branch, to lower the difficulty of becoming a godly king to the minimum. Of course, Luo Feng also knew, even so, producing a godly king was extremely difficult. With these 15 inheritances, the sect's foundation will be extremely solid, Yuan marveled. I myself have to take a good look and learn. I attained the primal chaos realm long ago, but now I feel that my understanding of the law of primal chaos is not thorough enough. Seeing these inheritances, Yuan felt the solidity of Luo Feng's foundation. Shall I start openly recruiting disciples now? Yuan said. As the leader of the Blade River sect, your fame alone will make countless eternal true gods yearn to join the Blade River sect. The appeal of the Blade River sect will be far greater than those hidden factions by the Life Mother River. The Life Mother River was, after all, targeted by the Flame Wind ancient country, recruiting disciples in small groups, and there was no publicly known sect headquarters in the outside world. The Blade River sect, founded by City Lord Luo, presiding over 20 surrounding primal chaos prefectures, is a proud and legitimate major sect. Begin the recruitment, Luo Feng nodded. Yuan was quite excited. He believed that in the future, human powerhouses who journeyed through the cycles of reincarnation to the land of origin would also become part of the Blade River sect. This video will end here.